I am about to tear into the bowels of this boat, rip out the old air conditioning unit, and install a brand new replacement retrofit Dometic 6000 BTU air conditioning reverse cycle air heat unit. So stick around and see what I get into. It's gonna be fun.
Well, I have a beautiful sunny day outside, but today I'm working inside. And today's project is going to be swapping out the air conditioning unit aboard Bugaboo. Now, for those of you who missed it, I shared a couple weeks ago the fact that I have got, let me open this door, a replacement air conditioning unit for our beautiful 1998 Sea Ray 370 Sundancer. This is the unit that's in the aft cabin. It is currently it used to be a 7,000 BTU output, which was factory installed. Given the fact that the boat is 25 years old, things are failing, have failed, and I've done a lot of repair and maintenance and upgrades on this boat already. So I'm going to leave a link in the description. I'm going to say this loud. Please always read the descriptions in all my videos. Look at the links in there, as there's links to other videos that relate to whatever I'm talking about, as well as playlists, and including my How I Did It Boat Repairs and Upgrades videos playlist. Well over 100 videos in there for many, many projects that I've done on our boats. And this one's going to go on that playlist as well. So I'm going to dig into it, and I'm just going to reiterate for those of you who missed it last time. This is located in our, let's call it the aft cabin. Even though it's a lot of people would argue that it's more of a mid-cabin layout. This boat has this beautiful vessel. Sea Ray number 6 for us, by the way. Again, take a look at my channel, see all the other fun that we've had with our last boats, our previous boats. But the forward V-berth has a standalone 12,000 BTU air conditioning unit, which is working fine. And hopefully will continue so. And this 7,000 BTU unit that's currently located back here services this area of the boat. So there's a vent there, and I think that's it. I think that's the only output for that one. So anyways, I have procured a replacement one. It is a 6,000 BTU Dometic, who has taken over pretty much everything in the boating industry. So it's got a smaller footprint, so it should fit in there well. So today's project is simply to get that one out. And again, as I mentioned, there's not enough space to remove that unit out of that access hole. There's an access panel in here. Just 4 wood screws, which I took off last time just to take a quick look. But that unit's not going to fit out of that space. It won't fit out of that hole, shall I say. But if I back up, you can see that there are 2 drawers here. So I'm going to remove those drawers, which is going to give me more access to the front, and that unit should come out of here. And then, with any luck, the new one should fit in. I already measured it, so it shouldn't be an issue. So first things first is the first thing, which is going to be disconnect whatever I can disconnect on this side. I've already shut off the seacock for the water, even though the boat is currently in the air. We're in a covered slip, and this is first thing in the spring. So the boat hasn't been launched yet, but that should happen over the coming days. Just for the sake of prudence, I've already shut off the seacock for the water supply coming in here. There's gonna be definitely a little bit of drippage from winterizing last fall, but that's okay. So I'm gonna disconnect what I can here. I got the outlet vent, water lines. I don't know if I can reach the electrical from here. I'm hoping that I can. And then I'll do whatever I can there, take out the drawers, and then do whatever I have to do from down here. So as I say, the water is shut off down in the engine room. But what I'm going to show you here is the other thing to look at is the AC panel. And just going to confirm, which I already know, because there should be only 2 things that are currently turned on at the AC panel, which is shore power, and one is the battery charger, the AC converter, and the other one is the electrical outlets, just the 110 outlets. But as you can see, I have the air conditioner breaker shut off both forward and aft. And this will be the aft air conditioning unit, which also controls the pump for the water. Okay. Now, again, please look at my description, because if I remember, I'm going to leave a link in the description to show me summarizing the air conditioning systems at the beginning of last year, right after we were launched, and just going through all that and giving hopefully an explanation for those of you who are not as familiar with these systems.
So why am I in the engine room, and what does turn the water on have to do with the air conditioning on the boat?
Okay, now the audio is going to sound a little different because I switched over to my GoPro camera for this. First, I want to acknowledge and say thank you to fellow boater Paul, who was good enough to give me a couple of these funky LED lights. Yes, my friend, they are still working. Anyways, working good, and really working well in a situation like this, because I can just pretty much place them anywhere. So number one, I'm just going to remove this giant hose clamp that's going around this vent. But again, I want to get this out of the way, get a couple rags down there, and hopefully capture any drippage that I'm going to get out of those lines. You can see I pulled that out of the way. I already have the new replacement air conditioning unit, reverse cycle heat and air. That's sitting at home because I want to get this one out of the way and off the boat before I bring the new one in, because we have space confinement in here. And again, real quick, the reason that I'm replacing this is this thing stopped working last year. It would try to start, which is going click, 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 click. So I had my HVAC guy look at it, and he suggested that the compressor is probably gone. And he said to try and replace that, find one, buy it, replace it, go through all the work. You know, you're going to be halfway, if not more, to the cost of a new one. And plus, it's 25 years old, because other things are then going to die, including the fan and whatever else. So it's just easier and better to put a new one in. It's going to be more efficient. And yes, I am going to film me actually pulling these drawers out, because I know there's going to be some guys that will look at it and say, oh man, I wish he showed me taking the drawers out, because I've never taken drawers out in the boat. I want to see what's involved, and I'm going to tell you what's involved. And this is going to be less involved, because I've already had this drawer out just to investigate this last year. So there's going to be some pieces missing, and they're going to be the stops so that the drawer doesn't come all the way out. Okay, so let's take a look inside here. Yeah, so there's the unit in question back there. And I see what I'm going to have to do to get that out of there is remove this whole assembly. You can see this is all built basically as one piece. It's kind of like a frame in a frame. But I see wood screw, wood screw, wood screw. Boom, boom, boom. There's probably a couple more back there. Maybe. Nope. But I will look. I will find. I'm going to pull these 6 screws out first of all. And then I'm going to see if I can wobble it and get it out of there. And then, ooh, while I'm in here, look at that, hoses and stuff. Ooh, always so much fun to take stuff apart on the boat and see how everything works. I've told you that before. Okay, there was a couple more screws. There was 2 up here and the same, but at the back section. And now that I've got this somewhat loose, see, it's just going to slide out as long as I get past the carpet here. A beautiful new carpet that we had installed in 2022 when we bought this boat. Okay, I got this thing out so far, but it keeps jamming on this side. And I've even resorted to putting hand cream, which is like a grease, like a lube, on the side of this, just so, because it's getting stuck at this one spot. So I'm looking all around inside, nothing. I figured there's got to be a screw from the other side. So what I did was I removed the thermostat, the control. Let me get this lid out of your way, which was mounted here, which controls this unit. And look what I found inside. If you look back there, I'm going to take a picture of it to show you a little bit better. but there's a screw holding on a wire loom, which has got all this cable bundled up, which plugs into the thermostat. And that screw, I bet you anything, it's sticking out so far that it is jamming. So I have to take that screw out, get the wire out of the way, and hopefully that will make it a little bit freer and clearer to get this piece out. See? Just so you can see where I'm talking about, okay? Thermostat, boop, boop, wire loomed up to the other side of this panel, and that is jamming from coming out here. So I'm going to take that screw out, drop the wire, and then see if that helps. Okay, and just like that, I removed this wire where it was screwed to the back side of this cabinet, and now there's no obstructions. And watch this. Ooh, like the magic. Ta-da! That should come right out now. It should come right out. Our lives. So anyways, that piece is now out. Oh. Alrighty, well, I didn't take it right outside, but I got it out of the way. So that is, it's basically built as a one-piece unit. And now with that completely removed, let's step back in here. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, we have good, free, clear access to that entire unit. And what do we see here? We have, one of these is going to be the condensate line. Right? Yeah, so that's probably the drain line, the condensate line that goes into the little sump back there. And then one is going to be the inlet for the unit, and one's going to be the outlet. So I'm going to guess that that is probably going into the unit, and this one is probably the one that's coming out. But I'm not going to surmise, I'm just going to find out. So where were we before? Where were we before we were talking about having to remove this unit? Oh, I see there's a big wood screw right there. I think there's one there. So, okay. Yeah, and you can see this is the wire that I was talking about for the thermostat, which was in here, and that was screwed to the back side of it. So. Okay, you're going to have a little bit of flicker again, probably, just because this is a LED light I'm using. I just got to show you, this is one of those 3 hours later type of things. These screws, these ginormous wood screws, clamp this whole thing down, and there was 2 on that side, 2 on this side, and difficult to get at, crazy to get at. Anyways, after taking apart way too much, too many panels, I was able to get dig out my impact gun and get it in behind there after lots of cursing and swearing. Now, the final element to release this thing is, this is on some sort of a, I guess, a vibration dampening material. See that? It sounds like it's glued down. So I thought that sounded pretty neat, and then I would share it with you. Look at that. Oh, yeah, baby. Sounds like it's going to explode, doesn't it? Because I'm hoping I can reuse that material under there to do some vibration dampening if it needs it. Whoa, look at that. Nothing is disconnected up top other than the duct. Because I'm hoping I can release this and then just slide it ahead to me a little bit. But it looks like it's stuck down all the way around. So as most things I've shared with you working on the boat, it's not necessarily a difficult task, just time consuming. All this little farting around stuff. Now, before I disconnect anything in here, I just want to show you real quick. This is labeled water outlet. So clearly that is the inlet coming from the pump in the bilge. And this outlet, which is, I was going to mark this line as outlet, but it's pretty self-explanatory because it goes there
to a fitting where the water sprays out the side of the boat. Exits out the side of the boat, I should say. And as you can see, since I was last up here with you, I took this panel out, removed the ductwork, because I was hoping I could get at those mounting screws that were holding it down to the deck from that side. I almost broke my arm, honestly. I was reaching with my right arm and down, and this is not the best area to do that, so I almost got stuck. So I'm unstuck, and that's all good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take those, loosen those hose clamps off for the outlet line as well as inlet, try to capture any water that I can, and I'm hoping then that that will give it a little bit more flexibility to move forward so I can get at the wiring more easily. Okay, something else, a couple things I want to point out. First of all, it dawned on me what this other line is for. Since the out is going out the side of the boat and the inlet is coming here for the air conditioning, this other one here, see, MPI Aircon, that is for the forward air conditioner. Again, they're both running off the same pipe, or sorry, the same pump, I should say. But one other thing, a couple things I have to show you that I had to do. This, the thermostat wire, it was kind of jammed up and around the corner, going to be in the way. And one other item is the condensate line, which is right there, because I can't pull it ahead, just the way it is plumb through here. So I'm disconnecting it from there. I'm going to pull it out of the way. There was also a screw that I had to remove from this guy right here, which was kind of underneath here. So I had to pry this up, pull that screw so I can get at this, because this is holding up the line for the water as well as the condensate, and this was kind of in the way, so I kind of moved it out of the way. So I'm gonna pull this condensate line off and then see if I can move the whole thing still my way to disconnect the wiring. Okay, now I am back to my handheld DJI camera, so it's going to look a little different and sound a little different as well. All right, this is where it is now. I haven't disconnected any of the wires, but I want to just show you something real quick. I've cut all the zip ties that are holding everything to this unit, so there's a little bit more place, so hopefully I can pull this out. But one of the wires, which kind of looks like a network cable, I saw that inside, and I don't think I have to worry about that. But this is clearly the thermostat. So this is going to, not the thermostat, but it's get the readings for the thermostat as the cold air blows over or hot air. This is a thermal coupling, I'm guessing, I don't know, you tell me. So that is how this reads the temperature of the air flowing across it, either heat or cold. Okay, before I get any farther, again, I just want to point out a couple of things. First of all, that bonding wire that was back there, I could not for the life of me get at both the nut and the screw at the same time. It's a machine screw. So I just cut that wire, not a problem. I will just extend that and put the proper grommet end on it, or whatever you call those things. But the fitting, once I got the wires disconnected, this thing's good to go. But I can tell you right now, this one is quite a bit heavier than the new one, as can be expected because the new one is newer. Okay, so this is where this stands now. As you can see, I just got to disconnect the wires. And as much as I'd love to just start cutting into all those wires right now, and I don't think there'd be an issue, those wires are all disappearing under this couch. And I'm going to start growing it. Oh. Which is what I kind of suspected. So this is where all the connections are made, and as well as a relay. And you can see there's 4 AC power cables going into there, because that relay is going to trigger both this air conditioning that I'm working on now, as well as the forward one. And it is getting, it's getting to be supper time. My back's killing me, so I am going to call it quits for today and return to this another day. Well, a productive day. I got a lot done. I've made a hell of a mess. I've got all my tools out, and I've got stuff all over. I'm not going to show it to you because if Anchor Girl watches this video, she's going to say, oh my.
But don't worry, because you know I always put everything back neatly and always clean up after myself. So it's going to look beautiful. However, it is getting later on in the day, and I'm calling it quits for today, because that is going to be a head scratcher when I get down in there, and it's a bit of a tight squeeze. I have to take part of the couch apart. Not the couch, but I got to take one upper panel right out to get at that safely and comfortably. And as well, I want to put eyes on the replacement kit that's going in here and just see what I have for a controller or whatever I'm going to be hooking into. So I want to look at that before I start digging on that. So I will see you when I come back. Well, my friends, it is day 2 of this project. Actually, this is the 3rd day because I didn't come yesterday. Yesterday, it was a full-on rain day. Oh man, did we ever have a lot of rain. Today, I brought with me, I'm going to show you because it's way more interesting than staring at my face. Here, let's spin this around. Look what I got. Yeah, baby. So, as I mentioned, I wanted to look at the, open the package and take a closer look at this retrofit air conditioning unit. And rather than that, I just brought the whole thing because this is where the wiring has to go, and this wiring is going to be the situation that I have to look at more closely before I take out the old one, which let's just do not side by side, but a comparison in size. That one, the new one, versus the old one, and that one probably weighs twice as much. So anyways, where we left off in real time the other day was behind this panel in the so where we left off last time was me showing you what's going on back here. So I'm going to remove, first of all, I'm going to remove this panel, which as you can see, it just slides out to make this more of a double bed. So I got the cushions removed. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to start digging at the control box and the wiring there and compare with what I have on the new one. And then hopefully I can decipher all that, disconnect the old one, pull it out, and start situating the new one. But let's get to that first. Okay, I just want to show you what comes with the package apart from the unit itself. This is already pre-wired into it. So all I'm going to have to do is pop that open, find my power source that's going into the existing, get that wire in there, and do my connections inside here. And it's already pre-wired for the thermostat. Again, it's just basically a network cable. And here is the new thermostat. Now you see this is going to be a little bit different size, so I might have to get some sort of an escutcheon plate to go around this to fill the hole. I don't know if the existing one will work with this, but I'm just going to assume not, simply because first of all it's a different plug style altogether, and as well I don't want to mess this thing up. The other items that came with it, there is a plumbing piece, doohickey, obviously to connect the water one way or the other. Oh no, that's for the condensation drain line, which has to go on to this base unit, right? Because it all sits in a tray. So they're just going to say put it, I guess that this has more than one potential drain outlet location depending on the configuration of your boat. I haven't looked at that yet. Yeah, it looks like there's one on the other side too. So that'll go in there. And then there is the mounting brackets that will hold that down, same as the last one. And then the manual. Cool. Alrighty, so what I've been able to decipher is it's pretty much straightforward. These wires I will not need at all. I'm just going to plug them, pull them out, and they should be just going right back to the AC unit itself. These are controlling the thermostat and stuff like that because I looked at the schematic drawings, which is behind this plate here. So I pulled that off, and it is quite simple. Again, it's just, what do I need right here? Right here is AC power, right? In, and then to pump, which is going to be, see that, which is going to be that control box back there. So what I what I have determined is, see, 115 volts AC. So this is the power going in, the power, and then this is going to the pump control box over there. And what I have determined is the one that has the gray sheathing in this instance is the actual power, because I just followed this white wire, right? The neutral going to there, which is labeled 115 volts AC. So that is coming off the gray sheathing. So this will be my power supply to the new unit. And then this is going to be the communication with the pump. These guys I don't need because it's already contained. So now I'm going to compare that and refer to this control box. Again, all the communication is done internally, so I don't have to worry about those wires. That'll just that's all happening in here on the circuit board. And so I just have to plug that into the thermostat when I'm done. And then the schematic drawings here are showing the same type of deal, where it is yeah, again, I can take a photo and show that to you. The dotted lines are showing the AC power in, and then the pump relay, which are labeled in here too. Sorry, you can't see this at all, so I'm going to show you some photos. So it's going to be the same deal. The only the struggle I'm going to have is those bigger gauge wires, putting them into here. And again, please, boat manufacturers and everybody, we don't have little children's fingers, and just give us an extra little bit of space here, there, and a little bit extra room that we can actually manhandle wires into it. Please, Dometic and everybody else, I've said this before with C-Ray, just please, real world. You know what? This is engineered by an engineer and all drawn up and printed out and sent and shipped. I guarantee you, the guys that designed this have never hooked this up in a real world, in a situation like this, on a boat in April where it's cold and wires don't cooperate as readily and such. Okay? Just please help us boaters out. Please. So now that the old unit is out, I'm just going to show you what I did in here. I cleaned up as best as I could. I completely removed this inlet line and just set it off to one side. Just because the way this unit is going to be orientated, the water lines on the old unit were kind of positioned back there in that corner, but the new unit, they're going to be coming out the side here as shown thusly. All right, so this is where the water lines are going to go. So this is flow. So this is going to be out. Bottom one is going to be in. So that's the line I just showed you there. Well, good morning again, my friends. I am back now for day 4 working here. Again, it hasn't been 4 days worth of solid 4 days worth of work, but this is the 4th day that I'm back on the boat to do the air conditioning. And I am going to just switch. I'm just going to spin this camera around really quickly because I have to show you what it looks like in here. Anchor Girl saw a brief glimpse of this yesterday from my last video of what it looks like, and she's just, oh no. It's not that bad, honey. It's not that bad. It's just messy, but you know, I'll put it all back together nicely. So real quick, I'm just going to show you where I left off with this yesterday, and then we will get going. So here we are. That's where it is set, and I might as well just tell you what I'm going to do today, because this is what I'm going to do today. That's where the unit's going to sit. I still have to fasten it to the deck. There's a couple of brackets that come with it, so I got to screw those down into the deck. And then this here, let me just put that light down there, get that one out of the way. And this here is the power supply. And I was really not really struggling, but I was like, where am I going to put this? And this is going to be brilliant, because the cabinet that goes here, which contains the drawers, it will fit right over top of that, and I'll still have access. So if I ever have to get at that, which I shouldn't have to, but if I want to, I can just open that up, pop that cover off, and I will have access to the control board just by taking the drawers out. So that's great, and I don't have to move anything. And this is another benefit, is that I can just take the wires that are currently in here, under there, have a junction box, and run them back into here. My 2 leads, it's going to be power lead as well as the line that goes back to the pump control circuit thing that's in there. So that's going to be an awesome spot. I did relocate these back a little bit. Again, this is the water supply for the forward air conditioner. This is the new drain line that I put in yesterday. That's a whole other story, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I just brought that back a little bit, give this a little bit more room, and everybody's going to live in there happily. So, like I say, I just got to fasten that and then hook up the lines. I got the drain line, the condensate line, as well as the water inlet and outlet. And if my voice sounds odd, it's just because I'm bending way down here. Yeah, so here's the update, the look from above. I just want to show you what this looks like before I put the ductwork in, because that is going to kind of cover up a lot of stuff. So anyways, there's the in and the out water lines, as well as the drain line. The whole unit's nice and secure. And I'm happy because this unit, I was able to stick it back a little ways. So that's going to give us easier access to cleaning the filter. I can just take off this panel down here. Yeah, the old unit was so large and took up so much space that the only way to get at that filter back there, because it was in the same approximate spot, was to take the drawers out, which was a bit of a pain. So anyways, this is going to be easier, more convenient. So anyways, I'm just going to show you real quick what I've got done today so far. It's all mounted down. You see the mounts that are there. The water lines, drain line, well, the condensate line. Excuse me, again, my voice is going to sound odd because I'm really crouching down. I couldn't film this simply because I was working down inside here. There was no room for a camera, so you're just going to have to trust that this is done. Excuse me, I had to extend the bonding line, which is over there now. That's good. This piece is fastened nicely. These are all fastened. Again, like I think I said to you, I had to move these back just a little bit, just to have a little bit more room. So this is going to be out of the way. Everything is zip tied and secure. So the last thing I have to do now is, apart from that ductwork, which should be relatively quick and easy, is hook up the lines to and fro from this control box. So that's just a matter of taking them through this hole into where the old existing was, and just yeah, make the connections there, bring it back here. Bob's your uncle, and you know the rest of the saying. And I haven't even stopped for lunch yet, and it's like 1 o'clock. Wowzers. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with how this has come thus far. So the next thing I'm going to do is the wiring, and then the ductwork I'll leave to last. Quack, quack. Okay, now this is a real super bonus, is that those wires, let me just show you here. These are the wires that were going into the control boxes next door in there. And I thought that I would have to take wires from here back to that, put them together, and then, carry on from there. But I don't have to do that, because there's enough wire to reach since I located this here in close proximity. That's awesome. The only thing I'm going to do now, though, is this old electrical tape. It's super sticky and nooky, so I'm going to clean that off with acetone. Yeah, and then it's just a matter of making those connections down in there. Easy peasy. You always say that, Paul, but it ends up being a much bigger job. Okay, very nice. As you can see, again, I've got all the wires connected. I got everything fastened down nicely. And I was able to use the connectors that were on those wires. I just pulled the screws out and set them down that way. Now, if you're following along at home, there's the schematics
for the wiring, which is right on the back of this cover. And the cover goes like that. All right. Okay, doing this one-handed is, there we go. There, that's how that goes. Just a thumb screw down there. Bingo, bango, bongo. Everything's secure. Like I say, all the wires are neatly loomed together, fastened. I'm very happy that I didn't have to do another connecting box in the other space, and everything's just wired directly. Now, last bit of the puzzle is hook up the ductwork. Okay, boat is in the water, so now I can test the system. So I'm just going to spin this around. One last look. Hold on. One final quickie look. Yes, I turned the water back on. I got to do a little bit of vacuuming back there, but I think we're good to go. I just have to figure out where I'm going to put the thermostat, but for now, I don't have to do anything with it. It's right there. I'm going to turn the power on and see what happens. Wish me luck. No, sorry, that's forward. Let's put the app on. Okay, that's that. Nothing's happening. Let's see if I got to do something here. Oh, with the thermostat. Okay, on, off, right? Yeah, I just checked, and there's lots of water coming out the side of the boat. And that feels like the ambient temperature in here is a little warmer. Oh, 60, I see 65 is the lowest it will set to. See, it won't go any lower than that. So how about if I put that up to 68 or even 70 just for giggles. I'm going to set the fan to auto. And I'm guessing that red symbolizes that's heat on. You would think, right? But that should be all automatic. Okay, by my touch, this is now feeling like warm air. And we are coming up in temperature. So say this thing. We're up to 51 now. I think it's just because it was blowing the cold air that's, in around here. Because remember, it's going to be drawing cold air through the air return and transferring that up and through. So I'm just going to leave this running for a little bit. Ooh, we're up to 52. I'm going to leave this running and close the door and see how it feels. It's looking good in here. This has been running for about 5 minutes, shall we say, in real time. The gauge is going up, but better than that, this is definitely warm air coming out of here now, which is great. Awesome. It's all working. One more thing I want to point out before I close up shop and cover everything up. This is the drain line that I replaced that runs right from the new air conditioning unit right back here, because the old one was kinked and pinched all over the place. So I replaced it, but in doing that, when I took this off, because this was in the way for me to get the new line through here, the old pump that was in here, which was still operating, this outlet had cracked. I guess just, again, 25 years old, UV damage. So luckily I had a spare on board. The last one was 1,000 gallons per hour. This is a 1,200, so if the boat's sinking, I don't think that's really going to help it. But so that's in, and that was just, again, that added an hour to the job just for farting around, fooling around, and playing around. But I'm glad that I got a new line in here. And when I say it was kinked, it was from the original install. It was just the line was pinched in a few spots, and where they zip tied everything together, it just was just crunched in. So it wasn't allowing for decent flow. So I'm happy about that. And also, shut the light off. And I am happy to report, after about 15 minutes or so, This is definitely blowing hot air. Nice, nice, nice. And you can see our ambient room temperature has come up quite a bit as well. It's reading 59 Fahrenheit now. So that's a good thing. Hoo-ha. Whew. I'm going to need that air conditioning in a minute. Well, I must say that project was more than I expected, or had anticipated, I should say. I knew what I was getting into insofar as the work was concerned, but that working down in that cabinet space and bending down and climbing in and out, oh man, that's tough on the back. So anyways, it doesn't matter. It's all in. You can probably hear it, the wind, the fan blowing in the background. I had it running on heat for at least 3 hours, cycling on and off, works perfectly. Dialed the temperature up, down. As I'm filming this is towards the end of April of 2024. So yeah, where we are located, it's still called springtime and it's still cool out. So I've had the heat on, like I say, again, been cycling the temperature up and down just so it goes on and off a few times. Works really, really good. Anchor Girl was on the boat for a little while and just checking it out because, as an aside, we were just launched today, but that's another video for another day. But yeah, she says she thinks it's quieter, and I don't know, it seems the same to me. But the bottom line is I'm very, very happy that it's done, and it's just perfect timing. Like I say, we're just launched today, so the timing could not have been more perfect for getting that job completed. Almost. So as you can see, everything's back together now. The closet, I put that back together now. That little hatch on the bottom, that's going to work really good for cleaning out the filter. Easier access, as I had mentioned before. Now the only item that has yet to be completed is mounting the thermostat. So you can see the hole that's left behind where the old, I think it's called an SMX style of thermostat, which is totally not compatible with this one. Just the plug is completely different. It would not have worked. And this is not going to occupy nearly all of that space. So Anchor Girl and I discussed it, and what we are going to do is, oh look at that, that fits in there nicely. Too bad there's the rest of that gap. So what we're going to do to overcome this extra space is Anchor Girl today ordered some plastic, just flat plastic sheets, and I will cut to more or less size to cover that and insert that probably right in the middle. And I think that's going to be just ducky dandy doodly, and that will be an update for another day. But right now I'm going to consider this job complete. I got to show you one more thing real quick. So I just got to show you how much nicer and neater this looks with all my tools out of the way. As you can see, I got the couch back in there together. I put all the tools away, like I just said. I did a nice vacuum of the floor here, and it just looks a lot more presentable. I didn't want to have the first impression when Anchor Girl gets on the boat for the first time this year and sees it in a disheveled mess as it was. So this is a lot more presentable. Not 100% yet because we're just launched today, so a couple more days of cleaning and buttoning up and putting stuff away. Yeah, so that's it. Like I say, I'm going to call this job done. I hope you found it informative, and at least if you ever want to do a job like this on this style of boat, you'll know what you're up against. As always, I will look forward to your comments, questions, whatever you have, and please also don't forget to look down in the description because there is a playlist to well over 100 of my boat repairs and upgrades projects that I've done in my How I Did It playlist. So please have a look at that, and maybe you'll find something interesting in there too. All right, for now, I will see you on the next one. Cheers.